Mr. Royals, everything went as it should have in front of the grand jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Alexander, you're...
Breaking news, the grand jury in Georgia returns multiple indictments in the 2020 election case.
You are taking a live look now at the podium where Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis will speak any minute now. Now, for the past few hours, they've actually been processing the indictments.
Good evening, I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Meg Gatto. Just moments ago, the Trump campaign released a statement following tonight's indictments.
Yeah, the campaign accuses prosecutors of election interference. While the details, some of them remain unknown, they are starting to come out on Twitter with some journalists. The docket has returned. There is an indictment against President Trump. Also, Mark Meadows is former chief of staff, part of the indictment, as is Rudy Giuliani, part of the indictment tonight. But a number of counts against the former president, Donald Trump, by a grand jury in Atlanta, Georgia tonight. Again, we're waiting Fani Willis, the DA. We expect her to start a news conference fairly shortly.
In the meantime, Rebecca Castor has the latest.
A Georgia grand jury possibly charging former President Donald Trump and several of his associates in a sweeping indictment.
A Fulton County grand jury handing up charges likely against former President Donald Trump. The grand jury spent Monday hearing testimony from several key witnesses, including Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, a Republican critical of Trump.
Do you stand by the integrity of the election in Georgia in 2020?
Certainly do. My hope is that Americans believe us. My hope is that Republicans believe us, that this election was fair and legal.
The investigation focused on efforts by Trump and his allies to flip the outcome of the 2020 election.
If some of his alleged co-conspirators are under the RICO Act, the acts of one are deemed to be the acts of all.
One of the centerpieces for prosecutors, a recorded phone call where Trump told Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger,
"I just want to find 11,780 votes."
That was the number of votes needed to overturn President Biden's win in Georgia. This is now Trump's fourth indictment in less than 5 months. It will also be his second, focused on efforts to overturn Joe Biden's 2020 presidential win.
Trump, who is leading the Republican primary, denies any wrongdoing and says the case is politically motivated. In Atlanta, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And again, as we are waiting any moment now, the Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis to hold a press conference. We are learning a little bit more about this indictment. Apparently, the former President Donald Trump, along with 18 others, criminally charged now in Georgia for their alleged roles in election interference in the 2020 presidential election. We understand Rudy Giuliani and Mark Meadows are two of the others charged along with the former president. We're getting this from reporters inside the clerk's office. But again, as soon as Fani Willis, the Fulton County DA, speaks, we'll be bringing that to you live. In the meantime, Dillard political analyst Dr. Robert Collins says with Donald Trump charged in this fourth indictment, it won't affect his base.
If anything, after each of his other indictments, he's actually picked up a point or two in his favorable ratings. So this does not change the Republican Party politics.
You go to...
And Collins says Trump remains the favorite to be the Republican nominee for president. Collins also saying another historic aspect of this is that the trial could be televised in Georgia.